Welcome to the Smart Couple podcast and show every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Glad you're here. Instagram, Facebook, what's up? And you, the listener. Let's get right to this week's question from Sarah from California. All right, I'm going to read Sarah's question here. Let me turn off the tunes so you guys can hear me clearer. Okay, from Sarah. Can you speak to male-female polarity dynamics? Particularly when the female partner tends to have more of a masculine energy in the relationship in terms of being type A, taking action, wanting to get things done, while the male partner has more of a passive, laid-back, feminine energy. As the female partner with the more masculine energy, I find this dynamic really frustrating and wonder if it means I will be signing up for a life where I will be doing most of the heavy lifting around all the practical dynamics of daily life. I was wondering if this dynamic might be too difficult to sustain in a satisfactory way, although we are both growth-oriented, so that part is not a concern. Okay, very cool. Anyone relate to this question? This is, it's fairly common, meaning, and let me kind of explain what I understand Sarah's question. So she's more of the masculine partner. Her man is more of the feminine partner. And some people have some charge with those terms. They can be kind of loaded for some people. But essentially what we're saying is, I think it's pretty widely agreed upon that masculine vibe is more direct, direction-oriented, purpose-oriented, linear, logical, conceptual, and not as relational. A more feminine vibe is like more spacious, accommodating, nurturing, connective, relational. She's saying passive, could be. But regardless, right, though if we say those are going on in all human beings at all times, we all have those. Usually in a relationship, there's a polarity of some kind. It's like one of you is a little more masculine and one of you is a little more feminine. And usually it's the man is a little more masculine and the woman is a little more feminine, but there's a whole spectrum, all right? So she's asking, Sarah, you're asking about, okay, you're more of the man in the relationship and your guy is more of the woman in the relationship, if we want to generalize like that. Just to talk, it's easier to talk about it that way. Okay, so this is, again, first of all, Sarah, this is really normal and no problem here. You've attracted your opposite. Why? So that you can own it. Repeat. You've attracted your opposite so that you can own this part of you. So what do I mean by that? Let's get specific. Well, if you're judging your guy as more passive and laid back, feminine energy, by bringing him into your life, and you may be getting irritated by that, you need to own your passiveness, your laid backness, and your more feminine energy if you want to grow and be more of who you are, have more of a range in your humanness, right? So your way of being a little more masculine is helping him own that in himself. Now, if he's resistant to that part of you and that part of himself, he will continually get triggered by your type A, more masculine ways, right? He's just going to get irritated by you, which is going to happen. You're going to get irritated by his more feminine ways, but that's designed to get you to own the polarity there, what's missing in you, what you've disowned in yourself, right? Fairly straightforward. So over time, you learn how to relax into your feminine, as maybe David Data would say, and he learns to step into his masculine more. And one, it's like chicken or egg. What is going to help the other person do that? So a lot of women will wait around and resent their guy for I'm not going to open to him. I'm not going to soften and relax into my feminine because he won't step up and be sort of a man, or he won't take action and take charge and take command of this situation. So I can't relax. I'm not trusting he's going to do it because I'm more the man. I'm going to do it. Well, see how you're binding that whole thing up? So it's actually both parties' job to relax. Like he needs to, you need to relax into your feminine and stop maybe doing so much and so much direction and like not trusting that he can do it. And he needs to actually demonstrate that he can step up and take care of business, which would help you relax, right? So you can really help each other here especially if you're both into growth and development. It's pretty obvious. His growing edge is to step into his masculine more. Your growing edge is to step into your feminine more. You unconsciously, indirectly help each other by doing that, just by being your neurotic selves. And you may as well make it explicit and say, hey, honey, if I'm him, I'd be like, honey, I know I grew up with maybe sisters and a mom. I didn't even have a dad, and I just have these more feminine leaning. I'm more relational. I'm more connective. I'm more of the wave in the relationship. And that's awesome, but that's my comfort zone. I need to learn how to be more assertive, more direct, take charge more, take care of business, follow through on what I say I'm going to do. Will you help me with that? So he could say something like that. And then you could say something like, honey, I know I get kind of type A and I just keep taking over and I take charge and I don't trust that you can take care of business here. So I'm going to start experimenting with relaxing and letting you take care of things and trusting that you've got it, and see if I can soften into my feminine vibe, right? What can also help this are just straight up women's groups and men's groups. So you join a women's group and he joins a men's group, and you get around the kind of energy you want to be around. So if you're a masculine oriented woman, you want to hang around a lot of more feminine leaning women who are, more flowy, soft, relational, connective. And he needs to get around guys who are taking fucking action in their lives, because that will call that part of him forward, right? So this is, again, just another example of any kind of polarity in a relationship where you both can help each other own what you've disowned, and step into it more and take more responsibility for that. This is inside of you. It's not like missing, or it's part of your nature. It's just a little more buried, which is why you've attracted someone that has that quality, so that you can take responsibility for it. All right. Okay. Nice. Thanks, Sarah from Cali. Priscilla's asking, how do you find like a women's group or a men's group? And you just Google it, women's groups, men's groups. And you look in your town or city. They're fairly common now. You can join a virtual community. I used to have men's groups listed on my site. I actually had women's groups here in Boulder listed on my site, but I don't think I do anymore. All right, we're going to probably stop there. That one feels straightforward. I mean, straightforward in theory, right? Harder to actually, this is a lifetime of work for us. A lifetime of learning how to own what we've disowned. Okay. Thanks. Remember to send your questions in and make it really clear in the subject line, podcast question, if you want to submit a future question to the podcast. And state where you're from, first name, and your question, and make it as concise as possible, right? Usually Shauna helps us and helps me condense things into smaller bite-sized chunks so that I can just read it. We don't want a big, long story, all right? Just bite-sized chunks. That way I can answer it and get to it. You can also do the Ask Jayson thing and push the record button and just record your question, all right? If you want to do that, that's kind of fun. And all right, if you want to do this kind of thing where we interact more and you can actually give me on voice, you join our Roots community, okay? JaysonGaddis.com/roots. Okay, guys, have a beautiful rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.